Welcome to Community Chat on Breaking the Silence. And of course, you know I am, and you know who Mary is. I'm your host, Steve Neill. One of the things that I wanted to talk about today with you all, lower myself down here a bit, is something that's I've talked to with other people having these experiences, and there's been a lot of talk lately about, how we're heading towards World War III, and we could see nuclear warfare for the first time since World War II. And immediately what came to my mind and what I know and what I've been told, whether it's true or not, remains to be seen, is will those nukes function? And I've been saying for a long time to Mary that if they try to launch them, they're not going to work. They may launch, but they won't detonate. And then I haven't talked about that, and other people are starting to bring it up. In fact, I think, Mary, you read a story yesterday about that, where people were saying they were having trouble with their nukes. This is very interesting, and I'm wondering if any of the rest of you have had that in your database. Let's bring everyone on, Mary.
Hi.
Hi, Michael. Hi, Jim. Deb. Hi, Debbie.
Hi.
I got all five of us. We're the brave ones. That's us. Because we're going to talk about this stuff right in front of you all who are watching it right now and later when it's recorded, and you're going to hear things that you may not be used to hearing from the shock jocks who only interview people who express terror and threat and fear narrative and everything else about this stuff. And from my opinion only, I feel this is due to a lack of evolution for these people with the experience. I could be wrong, and that's not to minimize that they are not traumatized by what's happening, but it's my perspective that when you've been with this for a long time, you evolve with it, and it's not those things. So let's open it up. Let's hear from everyone.
Hello.
I'm not hearing you, Mary. Are you guys hearing me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hearing Steve, but I'm Mary.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't hear Mary.
I don't hear Mary. I hear Steve.
Regards, blabbermouth. It's been a rough past month with losing people we've loved, and of course, Marilyn passing away. I guess it was yesterday. It was a real shock because the last time I saw her was when we were doing the panel with Costa and Whitley Strieber and myself about the age of disclosure and how they cut off Bob Salas and reduced his 3-hour interview to 35 seconds. And of course, at the end of it, Marilyn came in and photobombed the place.
Yeah, I'm so glad she did. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. And she was fine, and she was here at the house not too long ago, and she was fine. But one thing caught me, and that's when she was talking about her health and her problems with her heart and stuff right over here at our table, and I just got this weird feeling when she brought it up. And so I'm not sure what that weird feeling was, but to find out so suddenly like that was a real shocker. And I think we're all at that age where, well, like Whitley just lost a real close friend this week too. And I said, man, we're getting older and this is going to happen. So, but it doesn't make it any less.
Yeah, it's very hard.
It is really hard. So
Yeah.
we can hear you now, Mary. And so
Yeah, I had the wrong mic on.
you're still kind of dim.
Okay, I can put it.
Might be you
it up.
because it sounds good to me.
Okay,
Is that
good.
better?
No, it's fine. It's my.
Now you sound like you just got deflated by a tire.
Anyway,
Anyway,
so what about those nukes? And what have any of you got that sense that they're not going to function?
I hope that's the fact. But I hope that happens. But I don't know. I guess we'll find out when we find out. I mean, that's my feeling. I'm hopeful that that's the case, but I don't know.
I'm getting this real strong sense, and I have for months now, that they're non-functional. They think they are, but they're not. And this is what I was talking to Susie Henson the other day, and because we're doing a show like we did with you, Deb, about chapter 34 in her book, and that's going to be a big deal. But we were talking about this, and she knew something about that too. And then I was talking to Dr. Gale, and she knew about it, and then there was something in the news about it.
Yeah, see, I don't know. I don't keep up with that sort of news and stuff. I don't know what's going on in the nuclear facilities and how the missiles are acting and all that. But I'm sure there are people that do know.
Well, Mary constantly surveys the news, kind of like the way Jim does.
But they never talk about nukes in the news.
And I try to avoid it. I try to avoid it altogether. My head's in model airplanes and art and making my films. So, and Jim.
The Bulletin of Nuclear Scientists have moved the doomsday clock to the closest point it's ever been.
Because they're
It's like 55 seconds or
I
something.
saw that.
Yeah.
And I sort of have a theory that major powers know about them, about NHI. And so if you're worried that your nukes may not be ready when you think they are because of a third-party factor, it's going to restrain you. And so we probably are living a charmed life because can you really tell the president that we think you should launch and it's 100% certain we're going to get them? No. And you don't even know if they're going to be launched or if they're going to make it to their target. And so you never know if the other side's made a deal with them. And so it's got to scare the crap out of people, whenever it comes time to, put their finger near the button. And so I think it's probably already helped. We've had enough stupid people running the world over the last 80 years that something's bound to have happened.
I wish they were just stupid, but they're worse than that.
Not just U.S. versus Russia or China, like Pakistan versus India, or
Yeah.
or is Israel going to be overrun? They've got them, and so you don't, I think it's already helped us, but the question is, if there's a single launch, are they going to intervene just on a single launch? When I was attorney in San Diego County, I helped the county organize in 2004 our annual exercise of the emergency broadcast system and how things work. And we always had a scenario. And that year, the scenario was a suitcase nuclear bomb, dirty bomb going off in downtown San Diego. There are lots. We don't know where they're going to, they would come in to draw the line. Is it going to be like Superman where they're just,
That's better.
or Batman where they're waiting for the bat signal or what? But uncertainty, I think, has helped us.
Yeah. What if they don't work at all?
Yeah. See, if you're going to bluster and you're not even sure your nuclear weapons are going to work, then you're less likely to bluster, and put yourself in that spot. That's assuming people are rational. But
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, what would people think if they knew that the reason they didn't? They're all waiting to die. They're coming at us, and they're coming at Russia, and it's like in the film when you see them crossing the ocean, and they're inbound, and then nothing happens, and you find out that it was visitors that you didn't believe in that prevented them from working.
My guess,
what a way to have disclosure.
Well, I think we would have disclosure in that case. They're not going to do it and then go back in hiding.
Well, I would if I were them. I'd say, hey, we did that. You guys got to know that, you're just freaking stupid, and we just showed you, and now we're going to go away and leave you to think about it. Maybe you'll pull your thumb out of your butt and start acting like, real people instead of killing people that we've been for so long. Not all of us, not us here. I have a hard time killing a bug.
Yeah, I got a spider catcher. It's very cool, actually. But I was looking it up. North Korea is the only country for quite a while now that's actually tested some nukes. So they have some that go off. They tested them. Russia and China are suspected of expanding some underground testing sites, but I don't think they've blown up any nuclear things in it just yet. But
yeah, I'm talking about the ones that are sitting in the silos, ready to go at the minute's notice.
How long have they been there?
Well, they service them all the time, but just because they service them and the experts say, yep, they're fine, it doesn't mean anything, because if somebody's making those non-functional, they're going to make sure they look functional.
I mean, in 2016, a weasel chewed through an electric transformer cable at the CERN collider and shorted it out. So, I mean,
yeah, anything's possible.
That might be why we're screwed.
That's it. It's the weasel.
That's the problem. The CERN, when it shorted out, it ripped a hole in the space-time continuum and dropped us in this alternate dimension, this different reality.
That's not so far-fetched, because this is not. I don't believe in it.
I've been saying that for the last 10 years.
People say that we're crazy and we have no proof, and you're unbelievable. Man, if you watch the news, that's unbelievable. It's completely unbelievable. If somebody had written that as a science fiction movie or a book years ago, they would, well, that's a good imagination. It's I guess it's real. So I'm very suspicious of it. The same way as in The Man in the High Castle.
Yeah. Well, I'm an experiencer, and I've had experience with NHI and humans. And I got to tell you, I'm 67 years old, and I have had much better, even with the inadvertent problems, that I had physically from some physical contact early on. I'm still here and I'm still alive. They never.
Hey, how you doing?
But they never intentionally tried to kill me. But human beings are doing it every day, So I'm actually more afraid of humans than I am of NHI at this point in my life, based on my observance and my own personal experience.
I mean, just driving to the store, suddenly there's a black limousine, a black SUV on your tail with blacked out windows. It's like, boy, I just feel so safe.
Well, I don't feel safe.
Then another one pulls in front of you.
Place.
Yeah. And don't try to sell anything on the marketplace.
I told you about my experience, didn't I?
I
Yeah.
told so many people that story, Deb.
I didn't even think. I never thought that that was a possibility until I told some of my friends who lived in. One of them lived in Wisconsin, and one of them lived in Minnesota, and they said that's happening here. Not only that,
Okay, now you're gonna have to share it because all these people in the chat
okay.
are gonna be
Well,
wondering what is she talking about?
Sorry.
I've been doing business on the marketplace for over 10 years. Never had a problem. I live in a pretty small town. Here recently, more recently, I get stood up a couple times, but that's just part of it. But I had posted this little service set for, $10 because I meet like 2 minutes from my house at a local market, and I'd been on there for a month, and I forgot it was. I even forgot it was up there. And I got a Sunday morning. I got a message from a gal that said, "Can you meet? This is it." I mean, she didn't say, "Is this still available? Do you still have it?" She, normal chatter. She's just like, "Can you meet now?" And I looked. I always check people's profiles, and I looked at her profile, and it was kind of, I don't know, a little red flaggy, like not. You could tell it was new. You know what I mean? And so my first little spidey sense went off, but I thought, okay, I'm bored. It's Sunday. I don't have anything to do. So I texted her back right away, and I said, sure. And then I told her where I'd meet. And then she texted me back, and and I'm like, let me know what time or whatever. She texted me back, and she says, I'm leaving now. I'm like, well, first of all, she texted me back and she said, what kind of car do you drive? Which is not typically anybody who does business on the Facebook marketplace. Usually when you're going to trade with somebody, they'll tell you what kind of car they drive, where they're going to be, what time they're going to be there, or whatever. She just comes back with, what kind of car do you drive? And I said, and I wasn't about, and I popped out, what kind of car do you drive? And where are you going to be? And what time? Like that. Cause I'm like, what is this? Something is not right with this. And she came back and said, I'm leaving now. Don't be alarmed, but my husband and my sons will be meeting you. They'll be in a maroon Dodge minivan, some kind of van. And I'm like, block. I told my husband, he's like, you really want to do that for $10? I said, hell no, I'll donate. It's a good, what I mean? I'm not that, it freaked me out so bad. I took it off the marketplace altogether. And I told, my two friends about it. And that's when my friend said, oh my God, they're doing that to people up here in Minnesota. And she said, they're putting boxes on people's porches like it's an Amazon delivery, but they're waiting for the people to open their door to get the box to see what it is and jumping them. And I'm like, I never heard of that.
Now, what state do you live in again?
I live in Indiana.
Indiana, next to Minnesota.
I live in the state where our governor
ICE or criminals, they're both the same thing.
But I mean, I live in a state where our governor has already given everyone in the government our voter registration information, so they already know which party I vote for and my address. So
that's scary.
Yeah, that's why I said I don't feel safe. But
yeah, if I saw those SOBs at my door, I just call the police and say there's armed criminals out in front of my door with guns, and the police will come, and then they will go away. Because they really, I don't care how much they say they're federal agents. It doesn't mean anything to me.
I would not. Criminals. I would never open my door. I have a Ring camera. I would not open my door.
You have a Ring camera.
Okay, let's not talk about that, Steve. We'll do it independent. We'll do it privately. Talking about Ring.
Okay.
Just points out, but I mean, I would be able to see who's out there, and I would not answer the door. I would not speak to them.
Yeah.
Remind me to text you about that later.
If they start kicking my door in, we have something in Indiana called the Castle Doctrine, which says that if I feel that my life or my home is threatened, I have the legal right to protect it by any means possible. Any means possible. I'm also, which might be surprising to people, but I'm also a legal gun owner with a lifetime personal protection permit and trained in shooting.
Good.
And I mean, yeah, I'm a surprise little old granny. So come on. You know what I mean? I'll protect my castle. I've been trained. I'm very good at what I do. I don't advertise it, but it's, I mean, because I like to target shoot. I'm not a hunter or anything, but I like target shooting.
It.
So,
yeah, but you got to also remember something, Deb. We have friends in high places.
you know what? And I've got to say, this is crazy. It might sound crazy, but for some reason, under all kinds of circumstances throughout my life, I've always felt this little dome of protection. You know, like something whispered in my ear that day. Nah, you know what I mean? And I listened to it. But I mean, I've always just felt like I don't know why, this running narrative in the back of my mind, regardless of how insane every day is, when I wake up and see a million new weird things that there's something in the back of my mind that always continually tells me nothing lasts forever and everything will be okay.
It might be Bob Marley singing that song. Every little thing's going to be all right. And
yeah, you know what?
That.
And at the end of the day, like I said, nothing lasts forever, including me.
Mary, what's the saying?
What?
Regimes come and go.
Oh yeah, a tie. We read Thich Nhat Hanh every morning, and I was reading one of his books, and you know, he went through Vietnam for God's sakes, and he says regimes come and regimes go, and the important thing is peace.
Yeah,
you know, these things come and these things go.
And I don't want to fight, and I don't want my country being in a fight, and I don't want people fighting with each other, but I am one person, and all I can do is...
But you have your tribe, you have your family, and that's what you have to keep close.
And I speak out. I mean, I'm not hiding. I've had a couple of people that have come to me on DMs privately and said, you shouldn't talk about those things in public because it will hurt your brand, or people won't read book, or
brand.
Like, first of all, I ain't a brand. And if I am, it's like, Betty Crocker. I don't know. And second of all, the people that want to read my book or need to read my book, they already know me. It's all good. And I'm not going to hide who I am. This is who I am.
I love that book. I want to read it again.
Scroll on. I mean, you know, in social media, they say, just scroll on by. If you don't like it, okay. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I'm not here to be that, but I'm also not here to hide it. And it's just weird because sometimes I feel like I've done this before. I don't know if you believe in reincarnation or not.
Yes.
Sometimes when I look at it and I look at all the things going on in the world today, and it seems so familiar to me. And I paid attention in history class and all that, but I almost feel like I'm back here to make right something I didn't do right the first time, which is I didn't speak out.
And show we're watching, it's called pruning.
You know what? So anyway, that's just me. I could be crazy. I don't know.
We're all crazy, Deb.
I could be. I probably am crazy, but that's just me. You know.
We've been watching Loki,
which is
a Marvel series on Netflix.
Oh, I think I've seen some of those.
It's amazing. You have to watch it from the beginning to know what's going on. But I mean, whoever wrote that stuff knew something about time and space. And
I'm a Marvel comic book girl.
It's really. The general public would never understand what they're talking about in that show if you didn't know something about science and timelines, and you know, pruning refers to the splits in the timeline, like branches on a tree that lead to alternate timelines, like the one we're in now, which can't possibly be real, but it is real. But the one we were on,
Hadron Collider, I'm telling you.
So this one needs to be pruned, as they refer to. So I highly recommend that everybody here watches Loki, because it's Marvel and it's wacky and it's
fun, but there's a lot of truth there.
But there's a lot of truth in there in that story, and that's what Jason Martell was trying to tell me when I did an interview with him that ran last Friday. And he's saying, you know, I'm a Marvel person, and I'm telling you, there's things in there. Those people know.
Doctor Strange is like so awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
So, but watch Loki because it's
Yeah, it's good.
you'll totally get it. You'll say to yourself, why am I understanding everything they're talking about perfectly, and it makes perfect sense. No matter how complex and crazy it is, I know it. I understand it.
My son and I have this tradition. It's like we have every time a new Marvel comic book movie comes out, he takes me. He don't take his wife.
Aw,
It's me and him because we get it.
yeah.
I wish they'd make a Daredevil movie. I love Daredevil. So,
I'm talking too much. You guys.
that's okay. Let's somebody else. Michael, you've been quiet. You're sitting up there just taking it all in.
I'm really pleased. My youngest sister, who I know is an experiencer, she's
Mhm.
never told me anything about any experiences she had. Today she told me one.
Oh,
Ooh.
When she was very young, she woke up suddenly at night and she saw a whole bunch of beautiful yellow butterflies. And she said one was really big. It was about a foot large. And there was about 20 small butterflies, and they all gathered around the big one. And they were attached to the top of her curtain in her bedroom. And that's all she remembers, though. But she said it was beautiful. I assume this was in the dark. And she said it was beautiful, bright, really bright yellow colors, all of the butterflies. So that's all she remembers.
did she see your show, or did she know that you went public?
Yeah, she watched. Yeah, she watched it.
Okay.
And another
Cool.
crazy thing is, even my therapist watched it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's never
Wow.
talked about it. The subject. She's
cool.
never talked about the subject ever.
Right.
I've
And
seen
what-
her for years, but she watched it.
My therapist has seen several things that I've done. She watched the thing that I did for you, Steve. That big
Yeah?
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. She loved it.
No, good. Well, I'm flattered because those people are a different variety of human being, and for them to actually appreciate something like that is, I consider, some kind of progress.
Mhm. That's how
Yeah.
To put it mildly.
She's one that does the EMDR therapy for me for all the craziness in my life, and she's
Yeah,
amazing.
you
I'm trying
certainly
to
have
talk. I'm trying to talk her into like becoming more available for this whole genre for people.
Oh,
Who
that would be nice.
I'm it's close.
You mean working with people who have these experiences that
Yeah.
she knows of, and trying to help them,
Yeah.
or not trying, but helping them. And
Yeah.
Well, talking is
That's-
helping.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, but it's just so nice to hear a therapist, saying, this is a route to take. Whereas years ago, they'd say, no, take this pill, go see this place, and, put these electrodes in your head. It won't be that shocking, and you'll feel normal again. Yeah. 'Cause that's how,
Normal scares me.
well, I remember back in the 90s, in Yvonne's group, there was, I think a family committed one of the girls that was in Yvonne's group. I knew her. I hung out with her a bit, and they committed her, and it got really weird because she suddenly ended up on the street in her neighborhood, the main street, in her night clothes, and didn't know how she got there, and they don't know how she got out of there. She didn't go back, and so evidently our visitor friends took her out of there, and then just dropped her near where she was living. I wish I could remember all the details of it. That was back in the 90s, but I remember that sticking out rather strongly, and her telling this around the pool at a conference for MUFON that was happening in Newbury Park. That Roger Lear's group was putting on. Whitley was there, and so was Ann, and we stayed in the hotel that night, and really weird shit happened that night too. You just don't forget stuff like that.
Yeah, normal is just a setting on your dryer.
Yeah, I know I have never forgot that since the first time it came out of your mouth. And when I'm having a bad time and I see your face and I see you saying that and I start cracking up. So thank you.
It's fact.
Gurgles.
Gurgles.
So
Whatever happened to the lady that got committed? Did they let her out?
I don't know because after my late wife was totally freaked out by real strong evidence that her husband wasn't having a midlife crisis and wasn't crazy, and because she saw stuff too, she asked me to get out of this stuff or she'd leave. I lost all contact with all those people in the group except Yvonne, Roger, and Whitley, and that was it. And even them I didn't tell her I was talking to still. I can't remember her name. I can see her face clearly. And I remember that we were drinking some wine out by the pool, and she told me about what happened. So I don't know if you can still be committed to this. Can you still be committed?
Yeah. Well, remember what happened to Mark Sims?
Yeah, but you have to have money, don't
and you have to have money for your family to do that to you.
And you have to have money that they want to get. So, and they're worried about never getting it. If you're crazy, they can get it much sooner.
Isn't there like a 5150 or a 72-hour hold or something, and that's all they have to let you go?
I think
Not
so.
if you have money. Yeah, but if you have a doctor that'll do what the family wants them to do,
Like an intervention.
then they'll have a plausible reason.
Well, like I told the audience, you're going to hear us talk openly about stuff you don't usually hear people have these experiences talking about. And for those of you that are on the fence or just think this is all crazy, I hate to burst your bubble, but this is very real. So
my psychiatrist about 10 years ago now, probably, I told her about an experience and she immediately diagnosed me with schizophrenia.
Yeah.
And my therapist got into an argument with her and told her not to do that. And you know how hard it is to get rid of that diagnosis once you've got it? It's not easy. But I finally stopped it at the VA because the VA asked me about it later on. And I just said, I saw a UFO. She diagnosed me with schizophrenia. I'm not schizophrenic, and they dropped it.
good.
Oh,
They're
good.
right.
Because those people give out those diagnoses as much as cops give out speeding tickets. I mean, it's like, oh, you saw something that I absolutely have no knowledge of, and everyone else told me is crazy. You're schizophrenic. Why do those people have that power? Because that's not a power they should have because they don't have any knowledge on the subject. And when they diagnose you that quickly too, without some much more investigation into it, they're just wrong.
Well, I'm glad you were able to get that off your record.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, that's a good thing. So, I mean, how does that work? Too, it's like, with my late wife, she and other people around me, they have seen the things I've seen. So did I give them schizophrenia too?
You're right. That's the beef I have with a lot of this. I'm hearing a lot of new voices, new to me, like the scientists and the academics all talking about NHI as a consciousness thing and it happens in the brain and not everywhere else. And I'm like, hold on, you guys. First of all, that doesn't explain the mark in my yard, my damaged eyes, my dead dog, the three other witnesses to just that one night. Almost every experience I've had has had another witness or two or three with it, But there is a component to it. I mean, I started out the physical part and it turned into that, what you're talking about with consciousness and spirituality and intellect and in the head sort of thing. But, and I tried to tell you guys about this like 40 years ago, but you laughed at me when I told you I was having paranormal experiences and stuff you would consider paranormal on top of this stuff that was leaving a mark in my yard and all these other things. And you laughed at me because I was a high school diploma and a beauty school certificate. What do I know, you know? And now I see these people saying stuff that I tried to tell people 30 years ago and 40 years ago and got laughed at. And to me, it's a little offensive.
Yeah. Look what I discovered.
How do they say? I'm a little butthurt sometimes. I guess that's how I see it. Because, well, but it's just, I need to let go of that because at least they're in the right direction. And that's what I wanted to begin with all along. But you didn't have to put me through 35 years of bullshit and hell, you know, to get to this point. And it's not just me, like there were thousands upon thousands of people just like me telling the same stories I was telling for the last 30, 40 years. And they were all getting the same bullshit I was getting. So it's not just me. But it's like now everybody starts to be getting on the bus and then they forget who was trying to tell them that shit 40 years ago.
Now they're all interested in consciousness.
So now I'm like, don't ask me anymore. I'm like, you don't need to ask me any more questions. My work here is done. Leave me alone.
I'm still reticent to talk about it. I just saw my best friend. He was in Vietnam. Called LRPS, Long Range Reconnaissance Patrol. And so he was in the most dangerous areas. And I can talk to him about Vietnam. And today he told me a whole bunch of stuff that happened to him. But I can't talk to him about UFOs. I just don't see any sign of him having an interest in it. And I don't want to injure our friendship over something. You know what I mean? I'm worried about it.
Yeah.
He may be open to it for all I know, but I'm just afraid to do it.
Well, I think you're being cautious is a very smart thing to do.
Well, listen to your instincts. You know, experience this built-in kind of radar. I've gone through life working in a factory with a bunch of idiot guys and nice people. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, I always could tell who I could say something to and who I couldn't. 5 minutes into a conversation, and I know if this is the type of person I can tell or talk to. You know, so just listen to that, and it'll take care of you.
That's that thing they call intuition, but it's actually something a lot more. I call it an ability.
We've gotten really close because we both pray to Mary, St. Mary, Virgin Mary.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe she was a virgin, though. I mean, knowing what I've learned about the visitors, maybe she was. So anyway, what was I going to say about that? And I forgot. I lost my train of thought. We got close because we both discovered that we both prayed to Mary and we got answers. We got help from her. And we're not religious. It's spiritual. She was a real person. And that's who we were raised Catholic. And that's just someone, because she was a woman, I always felt more comfortable with women. So I prayed to Mary and then found out he did too. And when I first brought it up, he was so surprised because he said, he could never talk to anyone. He had never talked to anyone since Vietnam about Mary. So we got real close that way. Except in Vietnam, though, he told the soldiers that he was with that Mary would protect them, that he prayed to her, and they laughed at him and jeered and everything. But then so often were they saved because of that he wore a medal, right, of Mary, and he lost it, and they freaked out. The whole platoon.
Oh, wow.
That were with him desperately searched for that medal until they found it. So he completely changed their mind about it.
Wow.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. When I think about Mary, I think about Fatima and what was going on there. So it always pops into my head. Not everybody knows about Fatima.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
What were you going to say, James?
I look back at my family and the same people that believed in ghosts. You've got to wonder if it was always ghosts they saw.
Right.
It could have been a very safe way to say things because
Mhm.
they were only a few generations away from people that were burned at the stake, for
Mhm.
witchcraft. And so, at least it's a little better now. It's working the right way.
Just don't go on Facebook Marketplace and you'll be fine.
Jeez.
As opposed to, being thrown in the water, and if you drown, you're not a witch, and if you float, you are. And
I'd have been screwed because I'm so fat I float all over.
Now you're making me think of Monty Python.
yeah, exactly.
She's a witch. We did the nose. We could build a bridge out of her. What also floats in water? Very small rocks. God love those people, because you know what? They will always get you through.
In my family experiencer background, you wonder where did the ghosts stop and ET started showing up, or has it always been them, or
Yeah.
are we more open? People like that see other realities. You're more open to this stuff. I mean, Deb's spending a bunch of time in paranormal stuff.
James, you've reminded me of a question I had that I wanted to ask. I have a negative entity, no doubt about it. It's tried to hurt me. It's threatened me. I never hear anything about why do they exist? Where do they come from? What are they? Who are they? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know nothing. I know nothing about it. All I know is not to be afraid. As a defense, don't be afraid. And a couple other things I don't want to get into, but I can deal with it. But I sure would like to know, why are they here?
Well, going back to non-local consciousness and how we're all tapped in and connected, and it's not just humans. There's so many different, for lack of better word, species in the universe and consciousness that paranormal, whatever brand of ET you want to choose or have seen, they're all tapped in to that consciousness. And so it makes it really hard to understand. It makes it very difficult to understand.
And there's the yin and the yang, and that's our universe.
Yeah.
You have to remember that. It's negative
good
and
and there's
positive
bad.
particles.
But in a way, I'm glad that it happened, because now I understand other dimensions much more than before. I mean, they're right here. These beings, they're right here.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
I can't see them, but I know they do things, and I know they're right here all the time. They're always
The animals can see them quite often, and I remember my dogs chasing 3 of my dogs back in that day during the 90s when all that crap was going on with Ciro and everything else, and them chasing something through the house until it got to the living room wall, and they stopped there, and then they just barked at the wall. That really freaked my late wife out, because she saw that, and they were definitely chasing, and they saw something, and they were barking at it at the wall. It's just, and that was like just a few days after I had saw the gray in my kitchen, wide awake, going out there to get some water, standing in front of the refrigerator. And so, they're there. They can be invisible to us, for so many reasons. I can't.
The way I see it, we're like radios, and
Yeah.
the other life forces out there are like signals in different radio stations, and we're tuned into one, and then maybe my dial will change. I'm going to turn the knob. I'll be tuned into another one, but it's like this brain that we have is like a receiver, and we can receive what we're tuned into, but we can't even perceive if we're not even tuned into it.
Right.
Like I'm sitting here right now, and I got like 4 different Wi-Fi signals going through me based on my cell phone telling me all these Wi-Fi's going through. I don't see them. I don't feel them. I'm not wired to receive them. So I have no idea they're there. My phone knows because that's what it's made for. I say sometime during my physical contact, I got some new wire harnesses, or I got a tune-up, or I got a link to some grand updater who can, tweak my tuning from time to time, and I'm able to see these things. It's not just me. I'm just using me as an example. I think there are millions of people out there like me that have had their dials readjusted, let's say,
Yeah, they put a notch on there where you can turn it from normal to weird.
I'm stuck on weird. Somebody come and kick me, hit me like I used to do my TV when it get all crazy.
Right. Oh, yeah, I remember those days.
My amplifier goes to 11.
The what? Oh,
my amplifier.
And I got one speaker blown out.
Well, the scientists understand. They've been studying the brain, and for so long they thought that consciousness was in the brain, which it's not. It's more like the computer.
The brain is just the receiver. And
so they're still flabbergasted. They don't know everything. They're just
yeah. Well, and I'm not. I mean, I'm blurting it out like I know everything. I'm blurting out what I've been told by the NHI in various ways. But they could be lying to me too. I don't know. I'm not a scientist, so I don't know.
Someday.
I had Simon Bown he had me recorded me onto his show. What was that, a couple of days ago, Mary? And we were talking about all this stuff because, he's a very popular podcaster, and he's his main interest in the beautiful book that he wrote about life after death, near-death experiences proved, and he does prove it in his book. He absolutely does. Has been his main thing. But he did have a UFO sighting one time when he was driving home. Now, he's in the UK. This guy looks like John Lennon, and he's got that same accent. It's kind of eerie. Wonderful human being. And he's driving home, and he sees this UFO, and it's right over the car, but then he doesn't remember anything after that except that he didn't see it again, and he kept on driving. He finally, the hypnotherapist he works with for past life regressions, he finally asked him to take him to that night in the car, and what he found out was just mind-boggling. And he talked about it on his show, and he sent me a transcript of it, and it was just like, oh man, I can't wait for you guys to see that one, because here's a guy didn't think that he was having those experiences, yet he's been attracted to the subject matter and paranormal and doing a podcast and written several books. And he finds that out. It makes me wonder how many people are out there that are like him. I mean, we all were at one time. And then the scariest man on the planet wrote that book, Communion. And that really upset the apple cart. So
when I saw that book, I literally ran towards it and grabbed it. I was in a pharmacy. And those rotating things,
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I saw it on there, and I saw it, and it was
Whoa. Whoa.
He got so
Oh dear.
Michael, come back.
Where'd you go?
Ironically, my late wife, who hated this stuff, is the one who brought that book home for me, because she thought I'd find it interesting. Boy, did she ever regret that.
Okay, here's a good one.
Whitley used to come over all the time, and he'd just drop in. He wouldn't even call or anything. Well, let's go have some dinner and stuff like that. And she was really uncomfortable around him. Oh, I got a question. Does anybody
Yeah.
know who the little brown guys are? Little brown guys. I've heard them talked about.
They
Mhm.
came into my bedroom one time, and I just watched them walk in and went to bed and forgot all about it.
Can you describe them?
They were brown. It was brownish color. It was about 4'10", mottled skin, and about 3 or 4 months after it happened, I saw the entities double on. It was a police artist had drawn a picture for Linda Moulton Howe, and it was identical to the one I saw. It literally walked under my arms, and I was walking out of the bathroom, and it was coming from my left into the master bedroom, and I stopped and went, "Excuse me," as he walked by. But when he was right in front of me, I couldn't see him. And so I glanced over to the right to see if I could see, and it felt like a him. I couldn't see body parts. So it just was that feeling. But I looked over and I couldn't see it. So I put my head straight back and reminded myself of when I was a point guard in basketball and looked out of the corner of my eye and I could see him again. And one and only time.
It's interesting about the peripheral sight, and that sometimes you'll see something straight on, and then it sort of vanishes or whatever, but you can see this over here, and you can make out the form, and it's there, and you look and it's not there. And I think Joe Stilwell talked about that with his crystal pineapple thing that he saw. He couldn't look right at it.
But to that question, I have no idea who the little brown guys are. I just saw the one, and that was different than the grays.
Isn't that the being that Whitley talked about in the book The Key?
No, that was a small human man that knocked on his hotel door and kind of pushed his way in, and Michael's back.
Yeah,
and
I'm patting him.
I love that book, The Key. If there was ever, I talked to Whitley before. I said, man, I wish there was some way that we could just make that into a film. It wouldn't be that hard. You got a hotel room, you, and one little guy, and then all the visual effects as he describes all the things that happened. But this is all stuff that I could do. But evidently, it's tied up, the rights or something like that. But I would love. It's never going to get turned into a film. They what they do with Whitley's books, the rights, film rights, is they buy stuff up and then they just sit on it. Like I think, I can't remember who has it. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say who has it, but one of the big studios I think has the Grays, and they've been sitting on it for, oh God, at least 10, 12 years or more.
Wow.
And they're never going to.
Excuse me for a second. Michael, are you okay?
Yeah, I dropped the monitor, but I got it back up again.
Okay.
I was kind of worried about you.
Yeah, me too.
I just couldn't figure out how to get back. Okay.
I'm gonna have to leave in about 5 minutes because I have to co-host, I should say, or visit with my Zero friends on Facebook. But I wanted to be able to come in and say hi, and
I'm so glad you
I'm
did.
so glad you did. It's always fun.
We don't go for much longer than an hour anyway. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure.
You digging out of the snow?
It's actually, I'm looking at my security monitors and it started snowing again, and it looks like little glitter, pretty glitter in the security lights. Yeah, we got about 11 inches here, and it hasn't melted because we've been like below 0 for days.
Jeez, how are your
I
pipes
know.
doing?
My pipe, we're good because we know how to do it here. We drip and
Yeah. you
leave
drip.
our cabinet doors open, and all that. So we're
Mhm.
good. And we have a crawl space, so my husband puts a styrofoam up on the outside part where the vents are to keep the cold air out.
And how
So
is he?
he's doing a lot better. He's still
Good.
got some issues, and they're sending him to a doctor who's going to see about either cardioversion, a pacemaker, or an implanted defibrillator. So,
No, okay.
but he's feeling better. The medication is starting to work. So he's home, and I'm being nursey. I said,
Good.
good thing I have a
Good.
little minimal knowledge of medical stuff and some equipment, so I can check it. We do him twice a day, and he's
Nurse Ratchet.
yeah. He irritates me sometimes, and I get mad at him and say things. And so when I had to take him to the hospital one time, he's laying there about half dead. He looks over at me and he goes, "Thank you." And I said, "Why?" He goes, "For calling the ambulance." I'm like, "Oh my God, are you serious?"
Deb, there's a question for you there.
Oh, it's not a show. It's a support group meeting for CERO. What does CERO stand for, Jim? I always blank out.
It's the Close Encounters Resource Organization.
Yeah, and it's for the Midwest, and it's a private Facebook page that I co-admin. And one of our folks is generously going to use, he's starting it up, his Zoom. So we're going to do some Facebook counseling, not counseling, but just,
Yeah.
chatting.
And this is all private. So
It's also, it's a private thing.
yeah, it's the way we
Yeah.
do ours, once a month, Mary? Do
Or
we do it?
Zoom,
Yeah,
a
we
couple
do it once
times a month.
Yeah.
Couple times a month. It's private, it's
Yeah.
unrecorded.
No,
It's
it's not
not
recorded and everything.
No.
It's just supporting other experiencers. But
Yeah, good thing to do.
yeah, that's my favorite thing to do. I would much rather be back here behind the camera and behind the scenes doing things with people than
Yeah.
some of the other stuff that I do. But I feel compelled occasionally. So
Yeah, it was funny. I put this together because we hadn't done one in so long. And some of the people who had asked for it aren't here.
Yeah. Well, a lot of times they get cold feet,
Well, when they
No, I don't.
things start back up, you space on them.
Yeah.
It's really easy to do.
Yeah.
I miss about a third of these things that I want to be on.
Yeah.
You never seem to miss ours.
Oh, it was 2 hours ago. Oh, I guess I won't get on it then.
Yeah.
oh well.
That's part of my age, I guess.
Well, maybe
Well, you're
we
in good company there.
maybe we ought to wrap it up then, since
Sure.
Deb's got to go. And it was so good to see everybody, and I hope everybody has
Yeah,
a
it
happy
really
New
was.
Year.
You too.
It cheered me
Yeah.
up.
Good.
Good to see everybody's smiling faces.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, you guys. I'm going to end the stream.
Thanks a lot.
All right. Bye-bye.
Okay.